Houston, we have a problem. 5 volts, output is off, nothing is connected. Watch what happens when I turn the output on. The voltage bounces and it goes into constant current. It doesn't quite say it's on, but it doesn't quite say it's off either. It won't respond to anything. I have to cycle the power. Then it will respond again. But look what happens when I connect my meter, which conveniently has banana jack compatible probes on it. The power is off, the output is off. Or is it? Watch what happens when I increase the voltage. That is on. We need to take a look at that, don't we? Let's open it up then, see what we can find. So, I've never been in this before. It's never let me down before. I've had it a couple of years, maybe more than a couple of years. It wasn't new. So there are 4 on the back, and it looks like 4 on the bottom. I think I've got a circuit diagram for it. This isn't actually built or designed by B+K Precision, it's rebranded, which is a bit cheeky. I believe I've got a diagram for a model that matches it. It's like we've got a grounding screw there as well. Be careful with that, the front panel just pops off. You take the screws out. But where's this back panel stuck? So I see 2918 underneath the switch there, so that must be 2018 week 29 that the board, and yes, what I was looking for inside was the word Manson. Manson, apparently the original, or the OEM basically, of this design, and I think there's a couple of others, Voltcraft and a couple of other brands I think that have taken this supply and rebranded it, changed the interface, a couple of things. I quite like the interface of this version. Alright, and then there's some more gubbins going on inside there, so I can see a couple of quite long dip chips. So that's got some clips at the bottom. Just have to be wary of if you're pulling that forwards. But yeah, we've got quite a couple of quite long dip chips in there. They're almost unusual to see these days. Rather than sort of small PLCC chips or something of the ilk. So I'm going to do the obvious first. There's a lot of splatter from flux and whatnot. And check for any bad joints. The solder looks good actually, it looks very shiny. Yeah, the flux is a bit messy in places, but nothing's jumping out to me from the off. What I do want to check, because we seem to have this on-off issue, and that's something I've just seen in the middle. What we'll want to check is there's a row of transistors in the middle, and there's some in the middle there as well. There's a signal that goes to the main microcontroller to listen for the on-off button, and then there's another output that drives a transistor that drives a couple of MOSFETs that actually turn the power on and off. Being as we seem to have the problem there, I do wonder if we've got a short across a MOSFET somewhere. I wasn't using the power output when I discovered this, by the way. It's not like I've overloaded it or anything. I'd actually been using the USB and I had no issue, but I went to hook something else up off the main power output and turned it on, and it did what it did at the beginning of this video, and I thought at first, oh, it's what have I done? It's a fault in my circuit. And then realised it wasn't. It wasn't anything to do with my circuit at all. It's just decided to keel over. So yeah, I'll have a little look through this, and then if I don't spot any smoking gun, I think we'll check some of the transistors and MOSFETs and look against the diagram. Okay, I've been going over the diagram a little bit, and this MOSFET here is the positive MOSFET, and this one down here is the negative MOSFET. And there's a signal that comes in and is then divided between a couple of resistors to switch on and off each of these. Now this is obviously the Led Zeppelin edition because they're way down inside, but if I flip this over and just get the meter here, stick the meter to continuity, and here is the back of this MOSFET, and I'm only getting 6 ohms between, what will that be, gate and source. I think I'm getting 26 ohms between gate and drain, and 27 ohms between drain and source. So something's up there, isn't it? Can we check the negative one? Q11, I think Q11 is here. .73 ohms there. I think that's Q11 that I'm on the back of there, and I'm not getting any shorts there. There's a short somewhere on the positive MOSFET, and when the pin is enabled on the microcontroller to pull all this down, luckily it's through a series of resistors, but I think it's kicking voltage back up into the microcontroller, pulling on it and crashing it. I'm going to pull that MOSFET and measure it again. There's no heat sink or anything on it, so it shouldn't cause an issue to take it out. Yeah, that's shorted. What caused that then, I wonder, because as I say, I wasn't actually using it. It's just one of those things. Let's just check on the board with that removed. No, have nothing there. Let's just check resistance. Yeah, 470k. 4.8k. Check each way. That's a capacitor somewhere, several megs. Yeah, 1 meg ohm. So I think that was our issue. That this, what is that? IRF 3205. I have looked these up and I think I can get these quite easily. Does this have a date code on it? 8/17, 2017 part, I think. Let's get a new MOSFET. New MOSFETs have arrived. Let's get one in. So it's facing that way. It's quite handy, it's holding itself in actually. Let's see if it will stay the same when I solder it. I must remember to trim those legs before I put the case back on, because they're very close to where the case would be, so I don't want them to short out. Quick double check of resistance. It looks a bit healthier, doesn't it? Yeah. Alright, had to turn the meter on its side to fit it in shot. Switch is on at the back, let's put the mains on. Does it work? I'd say that's good. Obviously with no real load across it, it will be slow to drain the capacitor across it, but the on-off is working. I think we're good. No idea what did it. As I say, I was using the USB, and I believe that comes from a separate rail. Doesn't come off these main outputs at all. It's unfortunately not covered on the schematic that I've got that part, because essentially the front half of this is B+K Precision's doing, and the inside of it, the main board, the Manson part, is the part that I've got the schematic for. But at least it wasn't too difficult to find. It was pretty much what I expected. I just don't know what caused it. I guess MOSFETs just fail when they want. But yeah, hopefully if you've got this problem with this one or a similar model, it might be of some help to you. As I said earlier in the video, sometimes in the middle of the board, those transistors that I pointed out, sometimes they can cause problems. When I was looking around, I found a few people that changed a few of those with supplies that were completely dead. And in this case, of course, it was the output MOSFET, which is a bit further up the board. But yeah, hopefully this was useful to someone. I'm going to stick this all back together now, put it back in its place and get on with using it. So thanks for watching.